Good evening and welcome to Fishhawk Live. I'm Chris Larsen along with Trevor Sumption, and we're here tonight to talk to you a little bit about a new, not necessarily a new product, but a new part of a new product. Yeah. So it's the double wide transducer. I'm sure you've heard about it a few times. We've kind of mentioned it that we've got a new
Teased it a little
transducer.
bit.
Yeah, it's been out on the website a little bit. Not able to order, but you can order it right now. If you order it right now, we got a cool deal going. But there's only 10 of them available. We've had a hard time just trying to get everybody happy and get them out. So we've only got 10 available tonight with this deal. But if you buy a Fishhawk system with the double wide transducer on it, you're going to get a free Fishhawk TD. That's a $200 item that you get for free with the double wide system. But before we do that, let's kind of introduce the double wide system. We put together a little video for you, and we want to share that with you tonight before we get going with the show.
Years of development on the Fishhawk Lithium series resulted in our most powerful systems ever. Lithium series probes provide a weekend of fishing without charging or changing batteries. They're the most rugged and reliable probes ever built. At Fishhawk Electronics, we're always in development. The new double-wide transducer takes Fishhawk performance to the next level. True to its name, the double-wide transducer doubles the signal cone width, providing rock-solid communication between the probe and the display, and signal interruption caused by blowback is virtually eliminated. You'll troll more efficiently, put more fish in the cooler. The double-wide transducer continues to move Fishhawk technology forward.
All right, that video, I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of gives you an idea of what we did, but let's talk about why we did it. Why did we come up with this product?
I like the video too, except the fact that, have you noticed that like you're in all the fishing videos now because I'm not on the trip? So
I keep inviting you and you keep canceling. So.
Okay, back to the why.
All right.
So to be like perfectly honest, like the first why was a longtime vendor shut their doors, and at that point we had to develop a new product to fill that need. So that's really when we started the product, which isn't that's not how we normally do things, but you make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did, and what we started with actually was the Slipducer product that we've been building for a number of years. So that's the Slipducer that you find like on the multi-systems originally with the X2s and whatever. So we actually have a lot of experience with the transducer itself. And now it's like, well, how do we take something that we know works really well, and how do we make that and turn it into something that we can put on the transom? The kind of the unexpected thing, is as we started playing with this, which literally was, we were literally taping this transducer to, the legacy transducer. I mean, so we literally started taping it on there. What we started noticing was the further we got away, where we would start losing signal with the legacy transducer, like it just kept going with, using the slipducer taped on there. So it's like, all of a sudden we're like, well, why aren't we losing signal with the slipducer where we were with the legacy transducer? And that's when we started asking some more questions, which really got kind of fun, because we really started going way back. I mean, way before you and I were involved. In fact, in some cases before you and I were born. Right. I mean, that tells you how long that goes back. But the answer to it really was found that like some people out there watching may remember this probe, the original Fishhawk Thermotrol probe. Mm-hmm. And the answer is that legacy transducer was actually built to work with this probe. And this probe, from a signal strength perspective, this probe is about half of what we do now. So, really, with the original legacy transducer, that cone had to be narrower just to receive the signal. Right. Because you would get, like, if you had everything set up well, mm-hmm. you'd get, 100, 120 feet maybe of, depth. You could run your probe down 100, 120 feet before you would just lose signal altogether. Mm-hmm. Where even, using the legacy deucer with, either the X4 probes or the new lithium probes, that really kind of was doubled, right, if everything was set up correctly. And then what we started finding as we were testing, testing with the slip deucer, was we were, doubling on top of that again. So really the whole blowback thing just kind of went gone. And at that point, it's like, well, that's back to the lemonades out of lemon thing, right?
Right.
I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, well, now, number one, we needed a new transducer, and now we're able to actually improve the performance at the same time. So it really ended up being a win-win. And then from there, we just started figuring out, it's like, okay, well, what's the most efficient way to get this thing out of the transom? Because there's a whole lot of things going on boat transoms right now. So it's like, how do we make something that's easy to mount, doesn't take up a lot of space? And that's when we just started playing with designs. And, we've got a big advantage, and this is something I've actually wanted to do here now for a while, just because it's so cool what you can do with it. But, we're able to utilize additive manufacturing, which most people know as 3D printing, right? So now we're able to put in all the angles, everything we need without having to worry about what our draft is, what our pull is, where we can actually make this all work together. And what we ended up with is just is the double wide. That's what this is, the double wide with. And the thing just works awesome, is what it does. So, yeah.
Yeah, you guys took this down. I didn't get to go on this trip. I think I was probably playing hockey or something.
Yeah, you were playing. You were hockey dad that weekend.
Watching hockey dad that weekend. But you guys took this down to Table Rock Lake and really kind of put it through its paces. And tell us a little bit about some of the string angles that you guys are running, the line angles you guys are running.
Well, I mean, and you saw it even the summer, at home, when we were working with it there. But we did go down to Table Rock here in February, just because that was the closest open water we could get to, just to make sure everything was exactly where we wanted it, before we actually launched the product. But it's really like a 40-degree angle is not a problem, right? Yeah. So, and we were doing this more this summer, but using the probe with a 1 pound weight, with the full intent of getting it to pull back as far as we could. So we actually went to the 1 pound weight with a line counter reel, because I don't have that much cable on my riggers. So with a 1 pound weight, on like 50-pound braid, I was dropping like 300 feet of line, meaning the probe is actually 300 feet away from the transducer, which was putting it down about 175 feet with like zero reception issues. So, I mean, that's at a really, really severe angle. So that 40-degree angle, I mean, fishing with a downrigger, you're just, that's way beyond what you're ever going to see there, regardless of how fast you're trolling, how deep you're trolling. I mean, you don't want your rigger cables at a 40-degree angle.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So it's like and that's where we say it just really virtually eliminates the whole blowback thing.
Yeah. So you'd have to try to make it fail.
You'd have to try to make it fail, and that's really kind of. Can I draw now, or when can I draw?
I was just going to say, I know you're dying to draw for us, so why don't you draw for us?
Okay. So
Trevor's he's like a failed art student, but he's not bad.
Yeah, failed badly art student. But the other dirty secret is my co-host here. He's discovered this, and he likes to put like mildly inappropriate pictures, like maybe
Every once in a while, turn the page,
and something. It's like, so at least now I know who did it. But
right.
So I'll do my failed art project here. So I'm
gonna swing around, and I'm just gonna zoom the camera in a little bit so people can see.
Yeah, people see that.
Doing.
So this is just kind of the representation of what the kind of the existing cone angle would be. So the legacy cone angle was 40 degrees, is what the legacy was, where the double wide is truly it is double. It's 80 degrees, and where it makes a difference is the deeper you go. The deeper you go with the probe and the further back it goes, it just gives you that margin for error where you just don't have that. Again, you just eliminate the whole blowback, scenario there. So that's probably, I think of all the times I've drawn that, I think that's probably the worst time I've drawn it, and I don't think you can really even see it that good on screen. It doesn't look like, I think I needed like heavier markers or something. So that's probably a good thing.
We'll learn as our art projects progress.
Yeah.
So Trevor, tell us a little bit, just, there's a few people popping out with some questions, a lot of really kind of good and funny comments in there too. But when you kind of came up with this, I mean, you talk about going out there and it was like, wow, I can't believe this. What was your mindset when you're out there and you're like, this thing is really working?
Um, just like we did with the lithium, it's one thing to develop product, but there's no reason to develop it if it's not going to be better than what we already have. And so that's why we talk about the process never stops. So it's not really a matter of, it's like, if we're going to develop a product, we have to do it for a reason. So technology is great, but if it doesn't serve a purpose and it doesn't bring the product further ahead, there's really no reason to do it. So that was the mindset from the start, and that's the same as we did with the lithium probe. And again, the whole genesis, why we started the project maybe wasn't a normal situation, but the fun part is we've got to a place that actually is going to be really good. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of going off script, we've got a guest in the green room. We're going to bring him in right now.
He's actually like captain off script.
Yeah, there he is. This is Casey, aka Trevor's test dummy. That's about right.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Good, guys. How are you?
Very good, very good. Other than Trevor, you're one of the first animals that had their hands on this. What have you seen so far?
I love it. So it was kind of a rush. My season started off quick, so I got it on one of the boats right away the minute I received it. And I will say I went out and I was just curious because we get on the east end of the lake, we get some wicked currents, and I run braid to just beat those currents because without braid, with cable, it's crazy blowback, and I used to lose a probe all the time. So at 3 miles an hour GPS speed up top, I had no problem reading the probe 200 plus down. It's easy. What's nice is it's simple to switch out. I just ran when I pulled my deucer wire back from the old deucer, I just ran a string and pulled it back, and I pulled the new one right up front. It was easy peasy, and I think you're going to have a lot less problems with people not having the correct angle. Like the old one had, your old deucer constantly had people I watched, the angle was flat and they were losing their probe, or you probably had tech line going crazy with it. This is set it and forget it easy. Like, Trevor, thank you. That's the only thing I'm going to thank you for, Trevor. Thank you.
I've actually never heard that before.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty nice.
That is actually the cool thing about the mount, and that's where the 3D printing was really awesome, because it really allowed us to just really fine tune that without having to worry about how we're pulling it and mulling around it. But so this is actually preset, right? So this is like you don't have to worry about you're not shimming anything, you're not moving it in the mount. It's solid, so there's no screws to loosen, there's nothing. I mean, it's like stick it in the
quick, simple, easy. It was easy.
Yeah. So Casey, what's going on in the water these days? Tell us about what you got going on out on Lake Ontario right now.
We had some moody brown trout last week. We had some snow come in Tuesday and Wednesday, and our bite was pretty good, before that. And that came in, and I would have told you, if you've never brown trout fished Lake Ontario, if you went to Mexico Bay, you would have thought that the brown trout were extinct. I mean, we were struggling for 3 to 4 or 5 bites, 2 bites to get a one brown. And this time of the year, it should have been killer. The water looked perfect. I knew there was something up when I caught 4 cohos and 2 browns. We don't get a lot of cohos down this end of the lake, and that's when I knew something had happened. And they were just moody, kind of like Trevor, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, he's moody that he wasn't in any of the fishing videos. Well, I'm going to tell you, I've seen him fish firsthand, Chris. You have too. You don't want him in a fishing video. I mean,
that's why they call me the cold front.
I don't even know. I mean, I've seen bass guys hold rods different angles. The stuff he was doing on my boat last year I've never seen anyone hold a copper like that. I don't know. It was kind of like in between a center pin guy, spay fisherman, Chinese fisherman with like the long noodle rod, and I don't even know. I mean, I'll see if I can get a video of it, like a little clip, and post it on Fishhawk's page for everyone to see. Because I mean, thank God he's got a great product, because his fishing skills lack big time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do take some pride in that. Like, it takes a lot to shut down, the west end of Lake Ontario in May, and I successfully did that. So I'm gonna take pride in that.
I've seen it. True story. No,
So,
I'm very, very happy with it. It's you guys knocked it out of the park with this one.
a few people just wanted to get a look, see what it looked like kind of up close. You get a look there at the transducer and the mount that's hooked up to it. And again, we did have somebody stop by about a week ago and they're like, come on, guys, you 3D printed this.
Yeah.
Why isn't this molded? Can you talk a little bit about that and why we did 3D print it and what the advantages of it are?
You know, the advantages is it lets us make a super strong, solid mount, right?
Mhm.
Lets us keep everything compact, and then just because we have to have this angle in here, right?
Mhm.
That means our pull angles have to be, perfect as far as the tool. We've got to angle it on the transom the right way. We've got to have the kind of the cone in the inside, angled perfectly, where that doesn't always align and draft, and depending on how you pull apart, how you pull the tool apart.
Yep.
Where this just made a lot of sense, honestly. Right. It just made a lot of sense. I personally, I was really excited to use the technology. Actually, I mean, some people know that I like to shoot a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And I really got thinking about it because the last suppressor I bought is a 3D printed titanium suppressor.
Yep.
And it's badass. I mean, and so I'm like, yeah, I want to use that technology. I mean, so I was actually really excited to use that technology. And honestly, I think you're going to see a lot more of it in the future for a lot of different reasons. But
you can do things with this that we can't do in a mold.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So that's why we went with that, just to be able to make this the way we made it. That's how it had to be made, and it came out perfectly. And just the way it sits in your boat, again, you don't have to shim. There's no adjustments. And you just put it on the back of the boat. And
I mean, Casey's absolutely right. I mean, that's like the number one question that we get, whether it's email, phone, whatever, is like, where do I mount the transducer? How do I mount the transducer? And this just like makes that, I mean, it comes with a template. There's a template in the box. Mm-hmm. You literally can cut that template out, tape it on the transom, drill your pilot holes, screw it in, done.
Casey, what's fishing like there right now in your neck of the woods? Like right now, you don't have major like temperature. The temperature is pretty much the same, but you do have some real wild currents over there. Do you want to talk about that a little bit and just how you use your fish hook?
Our fish hook's key here. There's a lot of days that we you're up top speed. Some days you almost have to be in neutral to keep speed down low, and you would never know that without having a probe. I mean, you absolutely, it's a game changer down here. It's even a game changer in Wilson, and I think, a lot of guys ask, what should I get? What's more important? I wouldn't go without a probe. I couldn't do it. There's days it just, without a probe, my confidence level goes down super low. I need to know what my bait or my presentation looks like, and I know certain speed's going to throw that off. So with the probe, it dials it in, and especially on the east end, we get a ton of current down here. And right now, not so much. I mean, there's some. The other day, it was ripping out there, but without a probe, you're guessing. And it's people say lake trout's easy fishing. It's not. There's a lot of days you don't realize the current down there that. You put a probe down, you're like, man, I'm doing 1.6 GPS up top, but it's 3 mile an hour down there because the water's racing back from the last big wind we had. So this is a huge game changer with being able to get to those super depths. There's a lot of times I'm fishing 160, 170, 180 down, and I'm guessing speed. Now I don't have to worry about that. So this was huge. This was definitely, like I said, something Trevor finally did good. Speaking of shooting. I don't know, silencer, he probably hunts predators at night. This past year when I came to visit you guys, I come across the border north of you guys, and the first thing I see, I'm going to let Cooper out to go to the bathroom, is a 3-legged coyote. I suspect Trevor had something to do with that, him and his suppressor at night. He probably shoots like he fishes.
It wouldn't have been running around with me.
He probably shoots the way he fishes, which is sad.
Casey, anything else on the new deucer you want to talk about before we let you go? I know usually we have you on and just let you go, but we got a tight show tonight. We got a lot of things coming up.
I think it pretty much says it for itself. I mean, it's if you have the old deucer, get this deucer. It's worth the change. It's less than an hour to do it. I mean, it's not hard to do, and you're gonna see a whole. I mean, there's no way I'll ever lose my probe signal unless I go 400 feet down. There's no way that I will lose it. I'm that confident with using this. I think if you guys, like I said, this is another kudos to Fishhawk. You know, you guys did the probe, which is awesome and lasts a long time. You did the charger, the charging pad, which is awesome. And now you've done this. I mean, I don't know what else you could do. I really don't. You guys
we
have,
got a few ideas, but I mean, honestly, I mean, as much as we'd love to sell everybody a transducer, I mean, it really, if you have a system that works fine,
don't do anything.
Don't do anything. You really don't need to do anything. But for the person that does run into issues with the blowback, you know, whether it's because they had to put their deucer in a funky spot because of a kicker motor or whatever, if they run into that
ball, maybe you like to run fast, maybe you like to run real deep.
That sort of problem. Where I mean, you know, so that's the one thing is I mean, the legacy deucer, it was narrower, but we got to give it props for durability because that thing literally, we literally used that deucer.
I've seen some of the deucers on the back.
For 40 years. So, I mean, it's, but again, it's really, you know, if you've got one, it's working, no big deal. Save your money.
Right.
But if you do, you know, if blowback or losing signal from time to time is an issue for you, then that's something to consider for sure.
Fishing deep. Anybody that's fishing deep would definitely, you know. Especially with the currents.
Sure. Well, Casey, it looks like you keep turning the lights off at your place, so I'm going to let you go to sleep.
It's the laptop. It turns on and turns off behind my phone.
Gotcha. Well, we appreciate you coming on tonight and just chatting with us and just giving people an opportunity to hear what you're really kind of one of the first people to ever get one of these and give them an opportunity to kind of see what you thought. So
it's awesome. So last thing, I'm going to put Trevor on. Trevor, are you coming fishing with Chris? Or are you backing out?
No, I want to. We were
no. I didn't ask if you wanted to. I asked, are you coming?
We were just talking about our July schedule, if we're going to ICAST or not. I think I'm going to ICAST, but we'll figure it out. So,
all right, pal. You guys enjoy the night.
All right,
thanks.
Casey Briscoe. Thank you very much, sir.
Have a great one.
Casey Briscoe. We got a few people just chiming on, wanting to know. And so here's the deal tonight. We got 10 available. Once they're gone, they're gone as far as the system goes. So if you want to get the new system, we'll hook you up with a free Fishhawk. Make sure you use the coupon code there. The coupon code for that deal is LIVE. So go to fishhawkelectronics.com and put in the coupon code LIVE on the system for the double wide deucer,
and that'll show right in cart too. So it'll show it. The TD will show in cart as a 0. So,
and once those are gone, they're gone because we've got a bunch of other orders that we're putting out right now. And like I had said in the lead up video that we put out yesterday and today, you know, we're having a hard enough time right now just keeping up with demand. So it was kind of like, should we even do a deal? But we wanted to do a deal. We wanted to give you guys some incentive to watch and just something fun. So go in there, fishhawkelectronics.com. Check it out. It's the double wide. It's $1249.99, and you're gonna get a free Fishhawk TD. It's a $200 value with that item. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about. Well, first, before we get to the TD, let's talk pro.
Whoa!
I don't know what's going on here.
You're shifting around on
me, buddy. I think I've got the wrong sheet up here. This is the problem. But
we'll figure it out.
Let's talk TD. People want to know what this is. What are they getting for free here? So let's do that first.
Sure.
Let's talk TD. First of all, we've got a cool video. Let's show that video first, kind of give you an opportunity to see the TD in action. This is a video we shot last summer with Captain Casey Briscoe and Captain Pete Alex out on Lake Ontario. You get a chance to see how the Fishhawk TD works.
We're going to do the Captain's Leg Core Challenge here, right? All right, so this rod, we're getting ready to pull it. We got a 4-color here. Nothing's going on. We're getting ready to pull this rod. But before we do, we're going to use the Fishhawk TD, and we're going to put it in the by depth mode. It's going to be in by depth mode. And we're going to use this to check how deep that 4-color is really running back there. So first thing, all we're going to do is turn it on. We'll wait for it to say ready. You can see that it's in by depth right there. I'll open up the snap. All I'm going to do, almost got you, Keith.
It was close. Well, you kind of got me and Pete by not telling us about this. This is like sneaky Fishhawk stuff.
I don't think you guys need any more, man. So now we're just gonna let that slide down the line. So it's just gonna free slide down the line.
It's only been out 15 years or so, Casey.
Yeah, well, I've never used one, but I'm gonna tell you after today, I'm gonna use one.
It's on your 700.
On
600?
on
Yeah.
everything.
That's actually the cool thing because you can use your divers, your leg cores, long coppers, short coppers.
You know, you got a rod going a lot and you're wondering where it's at before you go to change it, or it takes a short hit and it doesn't pop the dipsy. Slam it on there, you can see exactly where it's at.
I mean,
match it with a copper or match it with a rigger.
Absolutely.
You don't need to run it out and back and forth. Just do it when you're going to pull that rod anyway. I
Right.
mean, you don't need to, nobody wants to crank any more than they have to, right? So just do it when you're going to clear a rod and then write it down. Because then once you have that data, you don't need to do it again.
This is really cool. I'm so
All right, so now it's hit. I can feel it. You can feel the.
hit the spin
You
doctor,
can
so
feel it.
stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
you stopped in the spin doctor. So now you're just going to crank it in.
You feel hurt a little bit, Pete? I'm kind of hurt. I mean,
No, I'm not hurt.
I'm hurt.
You know,
I thought me and Trevor were a lot closer than
it's hard-
this. I mean,
it's hard
we
to-
don't keep secrets.
It's hard to teach you
I
things.
find
though.
out he birds hunts today, or last night.
Yeah.
He's got hunting dogs. I have a hunting dog. I like to hunt.
Do,
No invites
do,
ever.
do you share your bird spots?
Yeah, I'm
Really?
sharing my boat with you. It's okay, buddy. I know where you live now. I'm headed that way.
All right,
in
all right.
October.
So a 4-color without, say a 4-color spoon is going to go down about 4 foot
4
per
to 5 foot,
core.
depending on your speed.
So how deep do you think that is with the spin doctor?
At 2 point, let me see here.
2.7?
2.8, we're going
2.8.
right now.
I'm going to guess 12 to 13 feet. 12 to 13 feet.
I gotta guess right with you. I don't want to admit with you, but I think you're right in the kill zone there.
What do we got?
16 feet.
16.
4.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Wow.
So, one thing to remember though is speed is still king, right? So, faster is going to be faster, shallower, slower,
Exactly.
deeper. I mean, but what this will let you do, just recording that data over time, it's just going to give you a baseline. So, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to, do your baseline speed at 2.2 or whatever,
Sure.
Whatever. But that's just going to give you a starting point. And like I said, this happens to be a 4-color, but you could use it on a 10-color or a double or your 700 copper that you like to.
Tomorrow I am sliding it out, and I want to see exactly where 700 runs.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Let's do it. It'll tell you.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Another great product by Fishhawk.
I do like Casey's car. Another great product by Fishhawk.
All right.
Well, let's talk about that right now. The Fishhawk TD.
Sure.
What you just saw there is the by depth mode, but
Right.
there are 2 different modes. There's the by depth, and then
Right.
you have
So
another mode.
the by depth mode it's only going to give you one number. It's just going to give you your maximum depth, and it'll do that to the nearest foot. So that's what you're using. Like if you want to use it to check your divers, check a copper, whatever, you're going to run it in that by depth mode. And then, this is just a snap, and probably the most common question we get when people want to know is like how to check depth with it is like, well, do I clip it onto my diver or clip it on, how does it, is it going to mess it up when you clip it on there? And the answer would be yes, it would mess it up as far as the running depth if you clip it on there. And that's why you let it free slide down the line. So
What you saw there in the video is that's when you do it. You're not going to run that when you're fishing. When you're getting ready to pull that line, pop that on there, and then you can start making your charts
exactly.
by that depth.
Yeah, so you just open up the snap it over the line, and then the water resistance on the device itself will just pull it down to the end of the line, and it samples like 10 times per second. All right, so it samples fast enough that you're just gonna let it roll, and eventually once it hits the lure. Or tractor or whatever you've got down there, at that point then you're just going to go ahead and retrieve it just like we were doing in there, and then hit the view button once it gets in, and that's going to be your number. That's going to be where the depth of it was. So how the device actually works is it samples as the water pressure is increasing. So as it's getting deeper, it's logging, right? As soon as the water pressure basically starts being less, which means it's going to hit the end, which is then going to start pulling up, it's going to shut off. So it only logs on the way down is what it does. So that's the mode. I would guess that probably most of the people watching tonight, have a probe, or certainly a high percentage of the people have a regular probe already. So a lot of those people are going to be more inclined to use it perhaps in that depth mode than they will in the by temp mode. And the by temp mode is where you'll drop it down and it'll show you the water temp every 5 feet. The only thing I'll kind of say about that is, even if you do have a probe, and this would be for a weekend angler, really somebody like myself, right? If I don't know where temp is and I'm not out, every day and I don't know what temp is doing, the TD is it's actually faster to find temp with a TD than it is to run a probe down, pick it up and move on. And like generally what we'll do, I mean, honestly is, you'll motor out to 50 feet, run this down on a rod and reel, I'll attach like a 3-ounce weight on it, run it down, just get a temperature profile. If I don't see what I like, I go to 100 or I go to, and I just keep repeating that process. So it actually is, a super efficient tool to use if you don't know where the temp is. So, you're up for the weekend and you're fishing, whatever, you don't have intel on it. TD is actually a really, really handy tool for finding that. And it's actually more convenient than running a probe up and down, honestly. So.
Yeah. And this is typically a $199 item. Tonight only until midnight, they're $149.99. So save $50 on these, and we've never sold them for that price before. So again, a great opportunity. No coupon code needed in that one. You just pop in there, and they're up there for $149.99, and you get yourself a heck of a deal tonight.
I think it's actually $150 even.
$150 even. Sorry.
Sorry.
We'll mail you a penny.
There you go.
Probably not, but $150 even on these. They're $49.99 off. We had somebody ask, I saw a question pop on there. The TV screen's a long ways away from me, so I can't see it. But somebody asked, does the new Deucer work with the old probe, the X4 or the X4D?
Yep. So cabling's the same, connector's the same. So like everything we do, which is, as you know, and we've talked about it before, but everything we do is forward and backward compatible. So new Deucer works with, works with an X4. Heck, it would work with a 840 if somebody still had one to a degree, but certainly with an X4 with all lithium stuff, everything's same, everything matches, literally plug and play. I mean, all forward and backward. So
very cool. Well, speaking of that, last year we came out with the new Lithium series, the new Lithium probe.
Yep.
We got a bunch of them out in the field now. I had a great year with them last year. And one of the guys that really helped us with that last year, I think he's hanging out. No, looks like he's not hanging out in the green room yet. Maybe I kicked him out. I'm not sure. I don't see him. Chris, if you're watching, try to pop on again. But we're going to have Captain Chris Engels coming on here in just a second. But let's talk a little bit about probe upgrades. Last summer, did a little fishing with Captain Gerard Urbanozo, and we sent him a new system, and he was blown away by how fast and how easy it was to set up. So we're going to talk about that real quick with Captain Gerard Urbanozo, and then we'll be right back with Captain Chris Engels. Let's hear from Captain Gerard.
Michigan, fishing with Captain Gerard Urbanozo, and a rough day today. We got blown off. We kind of pulled in here to do a little bit of talking, but the wind is definitely blowing. It got kicked up pretty good out there. But the thing I wanted to talk to you about today, Jerry, is you've been a guy, you've had Fishhawk on your boat, you had the previous system on your boat, and I said, we want to go fishing with the Lithium series today. So we shipped you a Lithium series to put on, and it was easy peasy. You got this thing last night. Tell me about what you had to do to get the new system working on your boat, just replacing the old system.
Yeah, well, when you told me you were sending me one, I looked at the tracking number and I'm like, oh man, when is it gonna get here? Because I need time to install this thing. I might have to rewire. So I was in a panic mode, and finally got to the mail. A guy came home late from work, and like, I got to get this ready. And then I looked at it, I opened the box, all the wires fit.
You're right.
So I just to take the other one off, the old one off,
Yep.
and then the wires plug right into the back of this one. Didn't have to do any wiring. No. Yep.
So the transducer wire is the same, the power cable is the same. You can literally swap these things out in under a minute. So if you've been thinking about going to the Lithium series from, maybe you've got an X4D and you want to go to a Lithium Ultra, again, within a minute you can be ready to rock. There's nothing to do. Basically just unplugging the transducer cable, unplugging the power cable, and you're ready to rock.
And then I asked you, do I need to pair these two? And you said, nope, just drop it right down, and we did, and it worked.
It does. And it's another thing too, is if you've got an old system and you're thinking, all right, what should I do with my old system? Hey, keep your probe, because let's say you drop this thing in the lake and you need a probe. Your old probe, you can pop it right on there. It'll work just fine with the new system. So everything is compatible. Everything is easy to set up. all you're doing is upgrading to the Ultra with the new display and the new probe, the lithium probe, but very, very easy to get set up if you've already got a system on your boat.
That was I had a lot of great days in the water with Captain Gerard. That one was a tough day. That was like almost we brought you with on that one because the wind was blowing hard. We had to get off the lake, but it was a great day with him. It's just fun hanging out with the guy. But we got one more thing, one more little bit of housekeeping before we bring in Chris Engels, and that is we're doing a giveaway tonight, and you can get in on that giveaway by putting in the comment section hashtag FishHawkTD, all one word. So hashtag FishHawkTD will get you in for the drawing tonight. We're going to give away one free FishHawkTD, get them out there in the world and let you guys get an opportunity to see what they're all about. So go ahead and drop them in the comments. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or Facebook, but hashtag FishHawkTD will get you into the drawing, and we'll do that drawing right at the end of the show. But first, we're talking probes, we're talking probe upgrades. In that video, we talked about putting a new system and how easy it is. All you got to do is put the display in there, the same power connector, the same transducer connector works. But the other thing that I don't think we talk about enough is if you like your display and you're happy with it, just keep it. All you need is the probe, and you can get the power of the Lithium series by just getting a probe. So you're basically upgrading and you're going to the full system.
I mean,
the display is a little different, but other than that,
and people ask that all the time, and we're not shy to say that the big performance upgrade you're going to get is in the probe. I mean that's where it's at. I mean, there's some there's some things that we like better about the newer style of displays too, but the biggest jump you're going to get is from the probe itself. So
you can do that as well. Speaking of probes and a guy who puts his probe to work quite a bit, it's Captain Chris Engels from Dark Blue Charters. How you doing, Captain?
What's up, guys? That was a great intro.
You're looking good. You look like you maybe shaved a little bit, maybe had your ears risen, and you look pretty good in there.
Yeah, you're stretching it now, Chris, but thanks.
Maybe this is just what you look like when you haven't run doubles for months in a row.
Yeah, I actually ran a river trip this morning, then got a couple-hour nap, and I'm actually feeling pretty good. So I've been sitting online chess. Just wait. I'm sorry about missing you guys the first time around. I must have clicked the wrong button or something.
We had some stuff going on with paperwork, so you may not even have been due yet, but we got you now. That's the main thing. It's good talking to you. Tell the folks out there kind of what your experiences last year with the new Lithium probe were like.
Oh yeah. So yeah, what a piece of garbage, 50 plus hours, on a charge, remote charging, streamlined, upgraded profile. I mean, what a piece of crap, guys. I mean, I can't believe it.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. No, I mean, what a bunch of great upgrades you guys did to that thing. I mean, the charging factor where you don't have to worry about the batteries anymore. We ran it. Kind of funny story. My first mate one day just asked me, he's like, when's the last time you charged that thing? And I thought about it and I couldn't remember. And this was like late July going into August where we were running really hard and I couldn't remember. So, I mean, I probably put 60 hours on that thing without charging it. So, and that right there is the biggest upgrade that I love. The smaller profile cuts the water better. The remote charging, on the charging pad, so much easier. You don't have to buy batteries all the dang time. And, if the thing goes down when you're out there fishing, the old way, if the probe went down and you're digging through all your tackle boxes and you can't find any batteries, you're screwed. Well, that thing, you throw it back on that remote charger on the charging pad. Within 15 minutes, you could finish out your trip. You didn't have to worry about that. So, yeah, what a piece of junk, guys.
Yeah, that's the feedback that we like the best.
His mind's sharp right now too. You can tell he's on top of his game right now.
Yeah.
Chris, I was able to come out and do some fishing with you last August, and I really appreciate you extending the invite back out to me again this year. Just tell folks about what that's like fishing in your neck of the woods. I know you probably want to talk about Spring Kings, but we had a ton of fun out there in August.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to having you guys back again. So did I catch this right on the last segment? Is like Trevor a curse on the boat? What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, so like, so call it 2009, you know, when I bought the company. So I would like load the family up and go to Michigan for basically like July and August, and kept the boat in Frankfurt is where I kept the boat. I would literally show up and the wind would start to blow, where all of a sudden everybody on the dock would be like blowing off 3 days a week. And finally they're like, you can't come back. So I mean, that started like 15 years ago.
So you're always the common denominator on that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's like, and it's not even that. I mean, it could be crappie fishing, it could be whatever. So that's my nickname is Cold Front. And it kind of, you know.
Are you supposed to come with Chris this year on my boat?
I don't know. I mean, that's why I keep trying to get him re-invited to places. So that's why I don't show, because it's a better chance that he gets re-invited if I'm not there. So
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to dodge that question on that. Both you guys, Trevor, Chris, you guys are always both welcome anytime. But I mean, Manistee is a world-class port. If you're coming to the Great Lakes, everybody's heard about Manistee, Ludington, Frankfurt, you know, all the southern ports as well. The Wisconsin ports, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario. I mean, they're just world-class ports for salmon. And you're right. We got Spring Kings coming up here probably within a couple of weeks. I know they're coming up the coast right now. I know the southern ports are getting them. And I know we're all jealous and chomping at the bit to get out there and get after them. We'll get them sooner or later. But, you know, if you do want to come up here and you really want to battle some great fish, August is fantastic. Late July is fantastic. But don't overlook May fishing here on the Great Lakes. The king fishing, they are absolutely froggy. They're absolutely silver through and through, and they are cold, cold fish, and they are probably the best table fare you'll get all summer long.
Very cool. Just want to let everybody know we've got that deal going right now on the Fishhawk double wide system, $12.49. Plus, you're getting the $200 Fishhawk TD with it. There's 4 left. We've already sold through 6 of them here tonight. So if you want to get in on that deal, do it now. Because once those 4 are gone, the deal's over. And then
back to playing it straight.
Back to playing it straight. And again, it's one of those deals that we're getting them out to customers as quick as we can. We just don't have them. So that's why the deal is very limited tonight on that double wide system. But Chris, people out there, they want to go fishing. What would be your best advice to somebody that maybe is thinking about getting into fishing the Great Lakes for the first time this year? What's some advice that you can share with some people that are maybe either just getting started, or maybe they've gone out, they've got their feet wet a little bit, take it to the next level? How do they do it?
Yeah, the number one piece of advice I'll give anybody is take a charter. Go out there and find a charter area or somebody,
100%.
Somebody that you trust, and ask that captain and ask that mate if while we're out there, hey, do you mind if we ask questions? Do you mind if we set some rods? Do you mind if we net? You know, can we take notes? Can we take pictures? We're 100% open charter. You come on our boat, you can do all that, all the above. So that would be, if you want to shorten that learning curve, flatten it out, that's my number one piece of advice to you. If you don't want to go that route, I mean, look at YouTube. We're talking on it right now. Look at Facebook. There's so many open sources now to be able to learn, just to get your feet wet, just to learn the absolute basics to be out there on the lake, and then just go out there and do it. I mean, you're going to screw it up. I screwed up a million things. I still screw up a million things. But there's no better learning curve or no better teacher than pain or losing money. And you're gonna get both of those when you're out there salmon fishing.
I think that's probably the most true, the truest statement we've heard all night. But no, that's an awesome answer, because, you know, I've been very, very fortunate to fish with a lot of really good. I haven't fished with you, but I've had a chance to fish with a lot of really, really good guys. And the thing that you notice about everybody, like everybody does something a little bit different, but the thing that's consistent is the attention to detail. I mean, you guys are so dialed into your programs. There's a reason that you do what you do. And I think that from, you know, for a weekend anglers, I mean, you can learn so much in that. And like you said, get your hands dirty, you know, get to somebody, hey, I just, you know, and maybe it's not even about catching fish that day. It's like, yeah, you want to catch a few fish, whatever, but you can, you know, your money the bang for the buck is what you can learn in a day. And I think that's a really valuable answer.
I think you'll save money by taking a charter, other than going.
100%. Yeah.
Rather than going out and buying 100 different baits that you'll probably never use, go take that charter and watch what that boat's using. Watch how you'll end up saving money in the long run, I think.
Yeah. No, there's no question.
Yeah.
Captain Chris, you talked a little bit about YouTube. Is there as well? You're really one of the best guys on YouTube when it comes to Great Lakes fishing. If people want to see what you do on YouTube, where should they go?
Tangle Tackle Fishing on YouTube right now. A lot of things are going to be changing in the near future, but right now, Tangle Tackle Fishing on YouTube, and then you can look at all my video descriptions if you want to follow me on Facebook or other social media. They're all right there in the videos.
All right. We appreciate you jumping on with us tonight. I know it was a little bit of a short interview for you, but just appreciate you coming on. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but we did want to have you come on and just tell people kind of what your experiences were like with the new probe.
Anytime, guys. Keep putting all that garbage product out there. I'll keep buying it.
we'll do our best.
All right.
He's Captain Chris Ingalls. Head Captain Phil Rutherford from right down the lake chime in there as well, and he said he's seeing about 80 hours on his probe before he's recharging. We've got Ron Winter out in Vermont that he takes meticulous notes, logged it. He was getting like 100 hours. But the one thing I like about you and just how you do business is you're like, I don't want to over-promise and under-deliver. So we promise 50, but just about everybody is getting well over that right now in their probes.
I think we also kind of learned something too, and I think it's because we charge our cell phones every day. Mm-hmm. I think it's just kind of natural that you want to throw your probe on at the after a weekend of fishing or whatever.
Yep.
And that's fine. There's no reason not to do that. I mean, it has the overcharge protection in it. Mm-hmm. So there's no harm in doing that. But I think that's something that we saw last year too, where people may charge their probes more than they probably have to.
Yep.
But who cares? I mean, it works just fine.
So if you're fishing for the weekend, you show up on Friday, fully charged probe, you're good for the weekend. You don't have to worry about it till Sunday. But we've got a deal going on with the probes right now too. And again, this is a no offer code deal. Let's talk about this one too. If you're looking for really any probe on the Fish Hawk Electronics website tonight until midnight, deal ends at midnight, you're going to get a free case. So if you're thinking about going to that lithium probe, this deal goes until midnight tonight. You'll get an opportunity to get the probe and a free case with it. And again, that's good on the Lithium Pro. It's good on the Lithium Ultra. It's also good on some of the legacy probes. And we've got a deal on that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Do you notice I cleaned up my fingernails so I could do my hand model?
I think George Costanza was once a hand model. So Trevor's our hand model.
I'm the hand model,
let people see, kind of show the camera kind of what that looks like.
So it's got the die cut foam in there, so the probe just sits in there nice and neat, keeps everything dry. So nice. Good place to store the probe.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about a probe tonight, it's a good night to get it. You can get the free case. You don't have to put a code in. Nothing's going to happen. Just pop it in and away you go. You order it. We'll make sure that it gets in the box tomorrow morning. That's another thing that we need to give kudos to is the guys and the ladies that we have in the warehouse.
Yep.
You buy something tonight, when's it going to ship, Trevor?
It'll ship in the morning. In fact, it ships before I usually get there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So you buy something tonight, you're not going to have to wait 2 weeks, maybe get something, you buy it tonight. You're going to get a tracking number tomorrow. So that's how we roll. That's how we run stuff out. So I know a lot of people had been going onto our website and seeing that the double wide was out of stock. It's, we didn't want to sell them and then not be able to ship them out to you. So we don't do it like that. You can just put your email in there. You'll get a notification that it's available when that happens. But we don't sell stuff we don't have. So if you order something tonight, it's going to ship out tomorrow. We've got a great team back at the warehouse that gets these things turned around.
Yes, we do.
And get shipped out to you. So very, very cool thing there. Let's talk a little bit. Again, we've got that giveaway coming up. I'm going to get that hashtag up on the screen here. And we're going to do this at the end of the show, which is coming up pretty soon. It is hashtag FishHawkTD, and that will get you into the drawing to get the free FishHawk TD we talked about a little bit earlier in the show. But before we get to the end of the show, let's talk about one more thing we haven't talked about yet tonight, and that is you got it right there in that case. These are X4 probes.
X4 probe. Yep.
And we don't have many left. Okay, these things are starting to run out.
And when they're done, they're done.
And when they're done, they're done.
That's the last of them. So we've got 160 some pieces left in the warehouse is what we have, and that's the end of them. So
we're doing a deal on them tonight. Cheapest probes we've ever sold. These are the X4 probes, and they will, if you have an X4D, this will work.
it will. Yep.
What won't they get that they would get with their X4D probe?
Just won't see depth.
Just
so it doesn't have the depth sensor in it. So it's the original X4 probe.
Yep. So you're going to get your speed and temp at depth, but these babies are $50 off tonight. Are they $300 or are they $299?
Well, they are. Yeah, sorry. Those ones actually are $299.
So these are $299.99 tonight until midnight. And again, we've got about 150 of them left. And after midnight, we're going to pop them back up to $349. So if you want to save $50, want to get yourself a backup probe.
I was going to say, just for a backup, it's not a bad idea.
These will work. If you've got a lithium system, these will work with it. You'll just need to change batteries. You won't be able to, charge it like you can with the cool lithium one.
And they come with a case.
And you get a free case too. We're going to do a free case.
So any probe gets a case.
Any probe that's sold between tonight and midnight gets a free case. And again, X4 probe, $299.99. Maybe your buddy has a knack for dunking them in the water and losing them. Hey, this is the time. Yeah, make sure when he's on the boat, you use this one.
Right.
Don't use your lithium one when he's on the boat. But it's a great backup just if you have an opportunity or you're in a situation where you need a probe because you got one hung up on the bottom or maybe had a malfunction with your downrigger. It's always good to have a backup, and you'll never buy a probe cheaper than that one at $299. So
for sure.
Those are on the website, fishhawkelectronics.com. You can go there and get yourself an X4 probe. And again, we've got just a few of those left, and when they're gone, they are gone. So again,
long run though.
Compatible. Yeah, they've been around
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
So 16 years, and when those will be gone, everything you'll get will be lithium. So we'll go with that. So tonight we had you all here to show you the new double wide transducer. We're going to circle back to that because I know there were a few people that kind of joined us late. So we're going to show our video that we showed at the beginning of the show here. It's about a minute long. And if you didn't check what we showed you at the beginning, this is an opportunity to see that. We're going to pull that video up here and give you an opportunity to see that one more time.
If you did see it before, take a look at when you see the double wide transducer next to the legacy deucer and just look how much smaller it is. That's the one thing you'll notice in one of those video clips there.
All right, here we go.
Years of development on the Fishhawk Lithium series resulted in our most powerful systems ever. Lithium series probes provide a weekend of fishing without charging or changing batteries. They're the most rugged and reliable probes ever built. At Fishhawk Electronics, we're always in development. The new double wide transducer takes Fishhawk performance to the next level. True to its name, the double wide transducer doubles the signal cone width, providing rock solid communication between the probe and the display, and signal interruption caused by blowback is virtually eliminated. You'll troll more efficiently, put more fish in the cooler. The double wide transducer continues to move Fishhawk technology forward.
Fixed. I did a good job of hitting that unmute button all night long until the last one.
And I actually gave you a compliment.
Yeah, maybe that was the problem.
I take it back. I take the compliment back. Yeah.
All right, we've got the unmute taken care of, but again, tonight was just a night we wanted to show you guys the double wide transducer and how it works, and that it works with old systems, new systems, doesn't matter. I think there's a couple left on the website, so if you still don't have one yet and you want to get one, $1249.99, drop in. We'll drop in the box a Fishhawk TD as long as you put the offer code LIVE in there when you go in there. The other deals we got going on tonight, we've got the Fishhawk TD for $149.99. That's $50 off. We've got the X4 probe going tonight, and that one there is also $50 off, $299.99. We're doing free cases on any probe that's bought tonight. Again, these deals end at midnight tonight, so if you're interested in those, make sure you get in on them tonight by midnight. But we got one more thing to talk about.
One more thing.
There were a few people at the Niagara show that had an opportunity to see this.
These, yeah, right.
But this is a new product that we came out. And again, we talked about that probe and how you can fish with it for, 50. We promised 50, but guys are getting 70, 80, 90. You don't have to charge these things on the boat. But you got guys like Prisco out there that just don't pay attention half the time. And they get out there and realize they didn't charge their probe, and they try to charge it in the boat. And there were some issues with that.
That was the feedback we were getting last year. And that's, I think, we didn't really anticipate that people would be charging on the boat as much, but I mean, it makes sense. And so we understand it and definitely got that feedback. And basically what the feedback was is, if you've got the probe on the pad, and the thermistors stick out, and they stick out for a reason. They stick out because the more they stick out, the more surface contact they have with the water, and the faster the temperature, the temperature changes are just recognized that much faster. So that's the reason they stick out, but it doesn't sit level on the pad, and it would actually, it could fall off of there, or, people it would move around on them. So what we actually did is we made an adapter, and it's basically just a snap-on adapter that works with really any charging pad. I mean, it certainly works with the charging pad that comes with it, but it actually, any like 4-inch diameter charging pad, there's nothing like super, specific about this one. It just snaps over it. And what that does is it gives the probe a secure cradle. So now if you are charging that on the boat, even if you're bouncing around in waves or whatever, the probe isn't going to tip over. And actually, this was a good one, and I didn't think of this, but it makes total sense. So for guys that have their boats docked and slip, so just moving around at night, the boat would roll enough if it gets windy or something, they come back in the morning and the probe wasn't charged. So that was actually, again, that's just the feedback we got, and that's when we got to work designing the adapter for those charging pads, and it just makes it dead nut simple now. Now that comes with everything, this year comes with that probe. So that's included in the box already. But obviously we sold a lot of stuff last year, and we wanted to make that available to people that bought probes in the past, or probes or system, any of the lithiums. We wanted to make that available to them at no cost. So that's kind of the other offer we have for that, is that you can go onto the website and enter the coupon code CHARGE. Yeah, you got it on screen there. Enter the coupon code CHARGE, and we'll actually mail you one of these for no cost for the product itself. You pay for postage, but no charge on the adapter itself. So
and if maybe you want to take advantage of one of these deals that we have tonight and spend $99.99, then you get free shipping.
Right.
So,
and we actually got some more stuff coming pretty soon that maybe. That would help you get to the free shipping too.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, we might as well.
All right, let's talk about that too. Everywhere I go, people are asking me, hey, what about, I'd like a cool hat or a cool sweatshirt or whatever. And we have kind of been putting it off just because everything going on with, everything that ended in that 2019, 2021 era. It was kind of hard to get apparel, but we went after it, and we came up with some really cool stuff. And what we want to do is kind of come out with some new designs, maybe even monthly. But here's a few designs that we've come up with here. Let me pull that coupon code off the screen so everybody can see what we're doing here. So this is one of the designs that we've got coming out for hats, but everybody loves hoodies too. So just a whole bunch of new designs here for hats and hoodies, and we're going to be doing some t-shirts too, right?
Yeah, and we're actually doing a lot of the long sleeve t-shirts, like these kind of the sun shirts, just because they're so comfortable and they work so good on the water. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like we have not done a super good job of like keeping clothing in stock. So we actually found a company locally that does a really good job with it, and so we kind of partnered up with them. And like you said, our goal is that we're going to start releasing some new things, possibly even monthly. But we've got like 4 new items, 4 new clothing items coming in here within the next couple weeks. And so we'll put out an email blast and let people know about that. But we get a lot of requests for clothing and hats, and the stuff that we've got coming is by far and away the nicest stuff we've done. The other thing is, like, we don't treat it as a profit center. So like we basically charge cost for. I mean, we don't make a lot of money on clothing. That's not our goal. So basically, we're passing on our costs, and we're just passing it on to you guys. So keep on the lookout for that, and that'd be an easy way to get to the free shipping number too, if you need a charging adapter.
Yeah. So that deal is going to be forever then.
That is, yeah. So okay. the charging adapter, that is not limited to tonight. Okay. You don't have to do that tonight. You can do that really anytime. We'll probably run that through midsummer. Because again, there's thousands of people that bought probes from us last year, and we want to make that opportunity available for everybody. And we'll talk about that in all the newsletters and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But put it on social. But yeah, this is not a limited time thing. So use that coupon code CHARGE at checkout, and we will drop one of those in the mail for you.
Yeah. So if you only get that, you're going to pay shipping. But if you spend $100 somewhere else, you'll get that for free. And again, we'll kind of run that through the summer so that people that bought the Lithium last year can go ahead and get one of those. But let's kind of review everything before we let everybody go. We're about ready to wrap up here. We'll do our drawing in a moment. Again, if you're not in the drawing yet, make sure you drop in the comments hashtag FishhawkTD. But basically, we've got a couple systems left of the double wide systems. And if you buy a double wide system tonight, you use the offer code LIVE when you go to checkout. And with that offer code, you will get yourself a free Fishhawk TD. The other deals that we have going on tonight are the X4 probe. And again, we've got a limited quantity of these as well. $2.99 tonight, so $50 off, the cheapest we've ever sold a probe for. So you can take advantage of those. And then and no offer code required for that. Just go in there.
Free case.
And a free case. And a free case. Yep. And that deal ends tonight at midnight. So at midnight, they go back to $349, no more free case. And then the Fishhawk TD, $50 off, well, $49.99 off of that. Thank you, Trevor. $150 on that. And again, no offer code needed on that. That deal ends tonight at midnight as well. And then if you buy any lithium probe as well, free lithium probe case with that. No offer code needed, ending tonight at midnight. So if you're thinking about getting some new Fishhawk gear, tonight's the night, but you got to get it done tonight by midnight.
It was, when we came up with this idea, it's like, well, how do we take like Fishhawk and go QVC home shopping? I mean, that's what we want to do. So it's like, we haven't done it before. We've never done it. So it's like, let's have fun with it. Let's give it a rip.
Let's go full home shopping network tonight.
You might have missed your calling, actually.
Yeah. Mike Rowe is, I love watching him on.
Yeah, that's where he started.
That's where you got to start, was home shopping network, or
watch out,
some version of that anyway. Right. That's how I got to start doing this stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. Anything else you wanted to say before we?
I don't think so. Where are we at for time, anyways? How are we doing?
It is 8:04, and we had written down for a wrap up 1:05 or 8:04, 8:05. So perfect. We hit it by exactly a minute. That's pretty good.
Awesome.
So big thanks to Casey Prisco tonight. Big thanks to Chris Engels for joining us, and a huge thanks to everybody who watched tonight. Hope everybody had fun. We had fun. I mean, it was fun kind of putting those videos out. Those are videos that a lot of them that we've shot, a year ago that really haven't seen the light of day. So it was fun to kind of get those out there in the world and let people see them and kind of see what we're up to. And should be a fun summer, fun spring as people get out of the water. We're looking forward to getting out. I'm hoping to get down, maybe catch some cohos down there in Chicago, maybe Kenosha area here. That's going to get going here in the next couple weeks. So hope everybody's having a good time out there and have fun. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time that we go live. We'll do it some more. Take care, everybody.